let us move into Peacemaker Season 2, now finally concluded, including the final episode, which we were told was going to have this massive, massive, earth-shattering cameo. So, Paul, let's begin with you. How impressed were you with Season 2 of Peacemaker as a whole, and the final episode of it in particular?
So, we'll repeat some of the stuff that I've mentioned before, just to summarize. The first 3 to 4 shows were all set up. Nothing happens, really. Then 5, 6 were kind of finally some action. 7 got, okay, this is not going into a good place. And then 8 completely fell apart. Like, oh, okay, that's my summary. It was not what I expected. Funnily enough, he did do what I had suggested that should happen earlier, and that is Peacemaker running around sampling different doors and then finding the one that goes to his alternate universe. But he kept it to the end. So I feel quite chuffed in at least being able to guess something that Gunn found to be funny. But that last episode was nothing what I expected. I thought it was going to clean up, finish off some of the threads, but it was a mess, an absolute.
They actually did one more thing that you had wanted, because from the very beginning, you said that Season 2 basically should be the A-team. It should be the team being back together, taking on new assignments each week, basically the A-team, right? And that's how it finished. They were setting up, I forget the name of the organization, but essentially the A-team. That's what they were going to do now before something happened, which prevented that from happening. But that was the setup they were going with.
It had a bit of it, and it ended with this world that Flag was going to put all the metahumans, and the first person he dumped into it was Peacemaker. Yeah. So whether that was supposed to be initially the intent was that's the cliffhanger for Season 3, which now doesn't sound like there's going to be one. Why would I want it to end that way? I mean, as big an asshole as he is, he's our hero, and he needed to win this in this final episode.
Speaking of assholes, I just want to claim like some credit, even though it was there the entire time, and that was when it comes to Rick Flag Sr., who I said the whole series, because I saw the animated Creature Commandos, where he was kind of like portrayed as the lead character, but I was like, dude, this guy, he's 2 things. He's a complete and total incompetent, and he's corrupt. And that was brought into full fruition in Peacemaker Season 2, where we see that, no, this guy, he's not the hero. And James Gunn later confirmed he's the villain. It was there the whole time. And for those who have been watching our past streams will recall, I've been saying this the whole time. Dude, don't say one good word about Rick Flag Sr. That dude is an incompetent, corrupt hack who is constantly abusing his powers. Really the worst kind of manager there is. And that was came to full fruition in this episode.
I hated it. I just hated it. And once again, Peacemaker never got to play Peacemaker yet again. It's so frustrating. I don't know what Gunn thought was going to be so fantastic about this, apart from the Looney Tunes, going into the different portals and then funny things happening in each of the portal, gruesome things and stuff like that, which we all anticipated would happen as soon as they walked in. I mean, something horrendous was going to go on. A lot of people died.
And that was the best part of the episode, the death of the red shirts.
Yes. But again, it was like too little, too late. And then that cheering dance sequence, it was weird. Nothing made sense in that final episode.
What's frustrating is that I stand by that they made the wrong story, or James Gunn went with the fundamentally wrong story. He should have gone with a completely different story for the entire season. But given that this is the story that he went with, the execution was all wrong. Because basically we had 5 episodes of meandering and nothingness. That was completely uninteresting. That should have been 1 episode, 2 episodes at most.
Yeah, 5
and then
was
when
okay.
things finally
Why
got
did he need to bring? Why didn't he need to bring Lex Luthor in just to give the name of that portal expert guy? That guy could have just been stuck in there. They didn't need to have Lex.
He flipped one switch. He flipped one switch and found the thing. He didn't do anything amazing. He just went to a console, clicked a couple buttons, and that was his scene. It's like, you need a Lex Luthor to facilitate
why?
that.
Like,
well, this sets up that Superman or someone is going to be sent to the prison world later on. And that's where they're going to meet Peacemaker.
It's like Lex Luthor advising someone with a computer virus. Yeah, go to Geek Squad.
Yeah.
Now, the entire season should have been, I said this from the top, it should have been Rick Flag seeking revenge for his son's death. And even if he's corrupt, even if he was corrupt and incompetent elsewise, you could at least empathize with his wanting revenge, because he didn't know what happened. In the first season, Peacemaker resolved his family issues between his father and the death of his brother. For the most part, he came to a conclusion with that by killing his dad and, taking responsibility for what part he played in his brother's death, which wasn't that much, and he was a kid. The thing that was still hanging over was the guilt over Rick Flag's death and his having to kill him. And so Rick Flag Sr. comes in, and he's on a vengeance spree, but he's restrained by the fact that he's now running Argus, and he's got people watching over him, so he can't outright kill Peacemaker. These guys just saved the world from an alien invasion, but now he has control over the A-Team. And so he sends them on continuous dangerous missions, and each episode is a new mission or a carryover from a previous one, and he gets closer and closer to wanting to take out Peacemaker through putting him into deadly situations. And then there's some kind of clash at the end, and you find out the wages of vengeance and all that kind of thing. Something like that.
Way better.
Yeah, and it would have fit in with the continuing aftermath of the Suicide Squad movie, what wasn't resolved in the first season of Peacemaker, and would have given Rick Flag Sr. something more to do in this. Because I tell you what, Frank Grillo keeps getting shortchanged with the characters he's ending up with, like with Crossbones and now Rick Flag Sr. It's like, this guy can do so much more, and he just didn't. The one part that was good was when he was interrogating Peacemaker, and when that knee went to Peacemaker's face, that one scene where he's, I was like, oh, are we finally going to get to this? Are we finally going to get to what this season should be about? No, it was like 2 minutes and gone.
Yeah. But basically, he still needs to be put in jail because Peacemaker, he killed his son, but it wasn't personal. It was business. Here's the thing. Peacemaker was the one who was actually following orders, whereas Rick Flag Jr., he disobeyed orders. If anything, Rick Flag Sr. shouldn't be pissed at Peacemaker. He should be pissed at the entire system that he is still enforcing, that he's still helping. I mean, there was nothing personal that went into death of his son. It only goes to show what a shitty person he is.
And that could have been his arc. That revelation could have been his arc during the show of finding out he's so on vengeance, but the more he finds out about the circumstances of his son's death, he has to come around to the fact that he's actually feeding into the problem that led to his son's death.
That would have been fun, and I wouldn't even have mind him co-opting Argus and seeing him madder and crazier, and everyone just doing what he's
but he's also really double standards, because how many red shirts did he just see casually die on his watch while he was like laughing at jokes with his lover behind the scenes and stuff? But then he's up in arms about his son dying for a much more worthy cause, but ultimately the same thing, died in the line of duty.
He
why does he get personal over that? I mean, he's just
using his staff as
individual. Yeah,
he's using his staff as cannon fodder.
And I'm not criticizing the writing. It only goes to show that he's truly a villain. But Scribe, I do have to say, though, that I don't think that Frank Grillo has been shortchanged yet, because that character isn't over. He's coming back for sure.
Oh, I'm just talking about the breadth of possible. Yeah, the role itself. He could have been doing so much more with that character if he'd been given a season where he's the antagonist who eventually has to come over to the other side because of the revelations he has.
And can anyone tell me why Leota ended up being the expositional conscience?
Can I just get in here because you guys are talking?
Yeah, go for it.
What if or that? You guys are too nice. This series was a piece of shit. I hated it.
No, it was.
All the characters. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Listen, unlikable characters, awful people. I want to praise James Gunn because I was in a fucked up mood when I saw after I saw Tron's Ares. I came home, I watched half of Peacemaker, then this morning said, Andre, I got to finish this. Wow, you made something worse than Tron Ares, and something more. What's more deplorable is that I liked season 1 of Peacemaker. I liked John Cena. I was liking what was going on. Yo, you need to stop writing your shit, stop directing everything, because it's starting to piss me off, especially since I've been a defender of yours, Gunn. You know, I really liked Superman, and the fact that you're making all these disgusting, unlikable characters a part of Superman's world, fuck that, man. Dude, I was just, and then I'm waiting, and it's fucking Godot, man. Nothing happens. Nothing happened. And, you know, it's just unreal. It's just unreal. And it just goes to show you it's a guy flexing his own fucking ego in all these projects. I'm talking to you, Gunn. I don't want to see the band with the wannabe Freddie Mercury playing the whole fucking song for 5 minutes. I want some action. Come on. I want Peacemaker. What is going on here? And it wasn't just one time. It was like several times. I was really, I just, man, you're getting me on a good day, Andre, and on the chat, I hate both of the things that I saw. I'm done.
It feels like James Gunn has got like George Lucas prequel syndrome or something, where he just can't let any control out, and he's got to see everything, even if he's stretching himself so thin that he can't actually do anything that well at this point. So maybe he's overcome with that. I don't know, but yeah, this season was.
No, I think you're onto something.
Yeah.
Did anyone catch the repeat? Anyone catch the repeat from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Where you had like all of the characters tell Rocket Raccoon, we all love you very, very much. You had that literal exact same scene here with all of the gang around Peacemakers broken down in tears, letting him know it's fine. We all love you very, very much.
I mean, Andre, how many times is Peacemaker crying and smoking? He's just a down fucking bitch, man.
Entire season.
The entire season.
Yeah.
He didn't even participate in the group sex with the gangbang. Yeah.
Right. Busch Gardens. Listen, I have to admit,
kudos to Gunn for that though. But yeah,
I did speed through that cringe breakup scene. I'm like, I can't watch this breakup. Like, and then like I sped up. I'm that shit's still on, and I went to the end of the scene. I'm like,
There's nothing good about that final episode, and it doesn't tie things up. And it's the whole series this year was a mess. It's too bad.
I'm really sick of like the main character, especially the male lead, always feeling sorry for themselves. It happened in the Punisher series on Netflix. It's happening here in Peacemaker. Where it's almost like the Joker movie. It's like in the first movie, oh wow, that's really cool. Second movie, they're apologizing that you liked the first Joker movie by making a movie that basically makes Joker a complete twerp. And so now Peacemaker is crying and he's all sad and heartbroken over a relationship. And by the way, you're my best friend now, Adebayo, even though we never had best friends.
Oh my God.
And then all the chicks have agency. They're all smart. They're all breaking shit down, right? They're all figuring it out. I'm like, who the fuck are these people? Then Sasha Bordeaux, all of a sudden, who is basically a piece of wood the entire series. I mean, she's cute, but then like, okay, in the last part of the last episode, she has a conscience and she's turning it. It's terrible, man. It's fucking lame.
I like the simplicity of, I call it Star Trek versus Space 99. Where in Space 99, all these people, the moon was blown out of Earth's orbit by accident. None of them wanted to be there. Star Trek, you've got a bunch of characters signed up for a mission. This is what they all wanted to do. It gave them agency. And I'm tired of these shows which remove personal agency, want, needs, ambition from the lead characters. Because it's wanting to do something that gets you into trouble. And then it's the character that finds a way out of the predicament that you yourself have put yourself in. That is what makes a good show. It moves the show forward. People wanting to do stuff.
I mean,
it's an anti-show. Nobody wanted to do anything. They wanted to
because Gunn. I don't know what Gunn was on. I don't know what gummy he took. He took the wrong shit. Maybe he was doing Superman at the same time. But the way this was written, like, really, this entire thing could have just been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah,
it would be better that way.
In this?
Yeah, where's the call to adventure?
Yep.
What is the call to adventure? What sets the wheels in motion? What gives the protagonist the reason to get up from his chair and go outside?
There you go.
Well, in other words, this had all the problems of a Disney Plus Marvel show.
Oh God! But you know, and the interesting things there they cut out because it's like a bunch of white dudes, right? Which is the dad and the brother, and I thought that would have potential. Plus, they're great actors. Where it's like, okay, we're in a Yahtzee world, but my dad's cool. Fuck's going on? Like, that's Peacemaker. That's Chris. Stay with that. Yeah. Anything else was just garbage.
Well, the point that you're making there, that the possibility was they also found out that Vigilante was fighting against the Yahtzees in this world. And if Peacemaker joined his dad, who clearly was against the Yahtzees, or sympathetically against them, let's call it.
Yes.
That suddenly becomes an interesting thing where now he's in Planet X Yahtzee land and he's joining his brother and dad, or maybe his brother turns out to be kind of sympathetic to Yahtzee land. And then so you've now got a really interesting world.
You're absolutely right. But instead, what did Gunn do? They had that fucking Scrabble scene. Yeah, man, this world looks a lot like the world we live in.
That was so freaking stupid.
And then martial arts guy goes, "That's right."
That's right. And how many times in the world that she lives in it does she get chased down the street by white people?
Yeah. If you weren't going to do the Rick Flag Sr. revenge story, then the revelation that the alternate world was Yahtzee land should have been in episode 2.
Correct.
And that should have been the driving force between
get
Peacemaker coming to terms with his father and his thoughts and his brother.
There you go.
And
Good.
Yeah, that should have been it. But instead, it's like all the pieces to a decent story were just dropped on the floor, picked back up, and thrown back on the table out of order.
And listen,
you'll notice the shirt that Adebayo was wearing.
What?
This episode? Yeah, their T-shirt. It said "No justice, no peace."
And then the other one said "Black Magic."
Too. You know the most unbelievable thing that happened in episode 7 was Adebayo jumping over that fence in one try. When she was running away from everything, she went over that fence, and everybody else was like, "Oh, I can't go over that." I was like, "Nah, sorry."
Maybe swimming.
Yeah. But Paulie, you were saying something.
Listen, I actually like that actress. I just think.
Oh no, she's fine. She's fine.
No. I'm just saying is that sometimes they cast these people that are unlikable. She's at least likable, especially with her in Vigilante. But I'm not to sound like that I don't know what it's like for brown people to chase me down, but that's my mom after me doing something stupid. She's throwing shit at me.
Yeah. But still,
trying to get a joke.
To me, that was like the most stupid thing. Which is like, this Yahtzee world where we're chased down the street is really not so different from our world. Which all I have to say is, my God. Anyone who feels that, anyone who is in America and who isn't white and who feels that way, try visit the rest of the world.
Well,
and see how long you freaking last.
But see, they don't really want to. The accuracy would have been other black people running after her, black people killing each other, brown people killing each other, because that shit is going on here in the States. In regards to high crime areas in our urban cities, but they don't want to show you that. They're not going to. This is easier.
Doesn't fit the narrative.
Just absolute trash, man.
Yeah. I think we've said everything that there is to say about Peacemaker Season 2, and my summary of it is mistakes were made.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 AM Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe and join us.